What are you guys doing on Sunday, the final day of Comic-Con? I'm going to need a lot more energy, man. Shawn, he's coming through a lot to come talk to you guys. He's not 100%, but he powered through it because he's awesome. All right, so I'm not going to make you guys wait any longer. We have Shawn Schemmel of Dragon Ball Z, your Goku, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Yeah! Let's give him a big Waco warm welcome applause.
I recently got diagnosed with non-celiac gluten intolerance and a dairy allergy, and I thought I was eating properly at the Saltgrass Steakhouse, and something snuck in and made me horribly ill. So I apologize for my lack of bubbly demeanor, which I normally have, but I will try to make this panel as entertaining and interesting as possible, even though I'm not functioning on all cylinders, so I might say some stupid things. So normally I don't allow videotaping of my panels and stuff, but I don't really care today, so it's not a big deal. Do whatever you want. I am from Texas originally, and I even, thank you. I went to North Texas. Yeah, we got a little feedback. I don't know what's going. There we go. Thank you. I went to North Texas, and I actually played in the Waco Symphony in the '90s. So I've been to Waco before, and spent 22 years, a long time in Texas. And I went to high school in Fort Worth and college at North Texas State. Anyway, my name is Shawn Schemmel. I'm best known as the voice of Goku on Dragon Ball Z, as well as King Kai and numerous others. I recently appeared in the new Fallout game, Fallout 4, as Strong, the companion. So if you play with Strong, you will recognize me. I'm an ADR director as well. Well, I was, and I did a lot of different things. And so I guess what I try to do with these panels is just give you an idea of what my background is, and I don't like to sit here and like brag about this episode or that episode. I try to make it, infotainment. So, if you have questions, it doesn't have to be about Dragon Ball Z. It doesn't have to be about voice acting. It could be, what mic do you use? How do you mix this? How do I set up my home studio? I don't know. Whatever it is. So I try to treat the room like a giant ADHD conversation. And so one person might say something that triggers another idea, and I will oftentimes give you answers that are much longer than they need to be. Because I tend to function that way. So anyway, we can start the Q&A and and just when everybody, you don't have to go up to the mic. I can probably hear you fine. You don't have to walk up to the mic. Anybody want to ask me any questions? Because I'll go back to sleep. Oh wait, this lady. That's all right. That is a very often asked question. The short version is, there was an open casting call for a show called Dragon Ball Z in 1999, and I auditioned and got the lead role. The long version is I was playing in orchestras and being a French horn teacher, and you're a French horn player? Oh, really?
French horn. Woot woot.
Hang on a second. I just bought a horn, and I keep my mouthpiece with it so I can buzz on the road. Because I'm trying to get back in shape. I'm going to do some work with the International Horn Society. Hopefully, I'm trying to work something out with them to do an appearance. But I just bought a Louis Dirk LDX5 Anniversary Edition, which is the same thing as a Louis because the taper of the lead pipe and the bell is identical. Anyway, I just nerded out with the horn player.
It was super clear that's what
happened. Sorry, but it is a spectacular horn. It just came out this year. I strongly recommend them. But anyway, so, the question, how I got started. So the long version is I was playing French horn orchestras, and I'd always done voices my whole life since I was a kid. I used to turn the volume down on the TV and make up voices in real time. And my friends saw this ad in the paper. They said, you should do this. You're really good at voices. And at the time, I was also on the weekends working in a marionette theater. But I was just controlling the puppets, and then I eventually was able to, my boss goes, he goes, you do good voices, let you record some voices on my show. And I'm like, all right, so I recorded some voices for him. So I really had very little voiceover experience, but I had a lot of, classical music experience. And they bugged me to audition. I was like, I don't want to do it. I'd rather be a horn player and teacher. And like, no, do it. But I'm the kind of guy that I don't just half-ass anything, so when I decided to do it, I took the voices I had done at the Puppet Theater and put them on a tape. I typed a resume. I dressed in a suit. I showed up. I was like, I'm going to knock this out. And then what they had us do, because we were mimicking the Canadian cast, because the cast shifted from Canada to USA in 1999, they had us go into a room and mimic like 12 different voices and then come out and do those voices. And I remember thinking during the process, like, well, this is what I do every day in my spare time. This is so easy. This is awesome. And when Chris Sabat, who is a friend of mine now, I did not know him at the time. He called me up and goes, "Hey, Shawn, you're gonna be Goku." And I'm like, "Oh, who's Goku? Which one's Goku? I don't really know." You sure you don't want to give me the Captain Ginyu part? Because I feel like I nailed that Captain Ginyu part, which, by the way, you never do when a casting director calls you. Of course, this is my first, professional audition. And he goes, "No, trust me, you're gonna really like being Goku." And I did not know it was the lead character for the entire series. So I show up to work. It took me about a week's worth of work before one day Chris goes, "You do realize you're the lead on the show." I'm like, "Oh, that's why all those pictures of Goku are out there. That's cool." Like, I was so Gokuing out. Like, it was so. That's what my producer said. "I didn't pick you because you act like Goku. I picked you because you are Goku, you dumb shit." Like, he was not. I mean, he was nice enough to me, but he'd give me shit sometimes. And it was just a weird convergence of I don't know, fate. So that's the long version. Since you're welcome. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you to come over. Thank you so much. Bye. Well, cool. We had somebody come all the way over and show you guys up to ask me a question when you can't think of one.
You suckers are right here. Did you have a question in the front row? I'm sorry. How do I get there? Like, how do I do? Like, how did I get the part? How do you do the voice?
How do I do the voice in general? Okay. Well, voice acting and playing a character is, for me at least, it's a simple process in terms of action, but it's a complicated process in thought, meaning I don't just do a voice. Like, there's a lot. Like, if I just throw it out real quick, the only reason I'm able to do that is because I've done it for 17 years. But let's see, for Goku, Goku's not a deep character. So you have basically three emotions you're dealing with: happy, hungry, and angry. Not necessarily in that order. So, people ask me if I like playing Goku. I only like playing Goku because of what it means to you guys. It's honestly, I mean, I love the character, but it's not, as an actor, it's not as fun to play. It's not as fun a character to say as play King Kai or even Dr. Crowler on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which I played, or John Mayello, or any of the other characters. Those are much more fun characters because Goku stays in the Zen state of mind, so he doesn't grow. He was just born enlightened, or after he got hit on the head with a rock. But and Goku loosely translated means master of knowing nothing. So I think it's a Zen state, kind of, So there's not a lot of depth there. I'm either just happy, so I got to get like all the bad shit out of my head, and be happy. And then there's a couple of diction things I do. And then there's a tonality thing I do where I'm a baritone and I shift up into my tenor register, and depending on what form he's in. And then I also take a lot of cues from the animation because we don't prelay the show, we dub it in real time. So I can take a lot of emotional cues from the animation, which makes it a lot easier, actually. Does that help? And then after that, I write the software program in my head, and then I hear three beeps, boop, 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 and then I activate it, and then I do the line. And if I get it right, they go, good cut, good take, next one. And if I get it wrong, they gotta, meaning if I say it too long or too short, or if I don't do the right inflection according to what the director likes. It's kind of a complicated process. I feel like I'm making your head spin. I'm so sorry. I talk really fast, and I think a lot of things really fast, and you should see my mother dealing with me growing up. I drove her nuts. It was a part 2 question. That's okay, because nobody else seems to have a question, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they're there. You guys should actually line up at the microphone.
Yeah, you can. Easier. If you want to line up the mic, you can. But go ahead, sir. Oh, well, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, what I decided to do for the Super Saiyan 3 transformations is there's only so high and loud I can scream, but I can go a lot lower. I can go the opposite direction. So it was a practical choice, but it was also a visual choice because Goku seems to be more focused and more chill the more power he powers up to it. It's really intense, and then for 2, it's like more focused, and for 3, he's like, Clint Eastwood almost, So he's like, trying to be like all cool and stuff. So I decided to lower the voice for the Super Saiyan transformations for those 2 reasons, which is a little bit hard to keep track of sometimes. So thank you for your question, though. All right, next question.
Mr. Shawn, I have 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
First one, when do we look forward to seeing the English dub of Dragon Ball Super?
Oh, yeah. I was told to ask him that.
It's going really good right now.
I'm sorry?
The show is actually going good right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm eager to do it. I've only watched 1 episode. I'm trying to wait, I think, and I might watch the manga first. But as far as I know, Funimation is eager to do the show, and I don't work directly for Funimation. I'm a freelance actor, but I do know some information, and that I can tell you is that Funimation is eagerly working to secure the contract. Because every time, just because you got Dragon Ball Z, a publisher is not going to automatically give you the next contract every time there's a new series. And it's standard business practice. Every show is like that usually, unless they know they're going to do 3 series and they bundle it all in advance. So they're really working hard to get that contract so that we can all do it. And they've asked me to voice Goku if they get the contract. And I said yes, as long as my contract's good. And they said we'll make that happen. And I'm like, all right, so. I'm on board, whenever they decide to get it. I know they're working hard with the lawyers and trying to do all the magic business to make it happen. But as of yet, we have not started pre-production, and I have not signed a contract yet. So.
All right. And my second question: who do you think will actually win between Goku and Superman?
I get this question asked a lot, and used to, I was like, maybe Goku, instant transmission to a planet with no yellow sun. But Goku is also the kind of guy who's like, likes to fight people at their strongest. So he'd say, hey, Superman, get close to that yellow sun and get charged up as much as possible, and then I'll fight you. Like he'd want Superman to be fully, because Superman gets a lot of that, closer he gets to the sun, the more charged up with power he gets. And Superman's only vulnerable to 2 things, from what I understand. I'm not a Superman fan per se. I like Superman, but I'm not. But my hardcore Superman fans are like, Superman's vulnerable to magic. And kryptonite.
Yes.
Now, Goku's chi, or ki, is not magic. It's bodily energy. However, all this changes once you introduce the concept of God mode, which has occurred in Dragon Ball Resurrection F and Battle of Gods. So when you have a deity facing off against Superman, who's not a deity, I'm going to have to go with Goku. Drop the mic.
What about Super Saiyan 4?
Super Saiyan 4 versus Superman? Again, it's, he would have to do, if Earth was in danger, Goku would probably do an instant transmission and yank Superman to a planet with no yellow sun, and that would do it. But if he's not mad at Superman for attacking Earth, he'd want to fight him on Earth. And I'm wondering if Superman might win because, he's not going to be vulnerable to Goku's attacks because he's Superman, and it's just chi energy. So anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
Like that. You put a lot of thought into this.
I have to. You know how many times I get asked that question a year? Like 1,000 times a year I get asked. So I had to think about it a lot. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah,
I appreciate you
your
noticed the
effort.
work. Thank you. Yes, Batman shirt.
It's interesting that one of your characters that you played that I liked was not Goku, but like Gonad from Kappa Mikey.
Gonad? Gonad?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Basically Goku without the pressure, and I kind of like that character.
I'm sorry, say it again?
It's basically Goku, but without the pressure of saving the world.
Well, yeah, the reason they cast me in that show, and if you look at Gonard's facial structure, they told me to take a picture of myself in the apartment and send it to the animators. And then when I looked real close, I'm like, wait, they're drawing Gonard to kind of look like my bone structure. Gonard, and I asked the creator of the show, I go, what does Gonard mean? He goes, Gonard. And I don't know if it means like F off or something, I don't know. I never understood what Gonard meant. But I based the voices, the reason they cast me, it's an anime parody. So they wanted a Goku-like character in there. And so I played Gonard, and off the show, he's very much like Goku. And on the show, I decided to do a mixture of Vegeta and Piccolo kind of voices to kind of make a monster. It was kind of off show. They have the on show portion of the show. For those of you who've seen Kappa Mikey, it was on Nickelodeon for 2 years, a while back, and it's a parody of anime where they have a cast of anime actors who have adventures off the show, and then they have an episode where they're on the show, and my character shifts doing that. Anyway, you said you liked that character because it's without the pressure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to play. It was a lot of fun to play.
I have 2 questions if anyone minds.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Jim Cummings was here this weekend.
Who?
And Jim Cummings.
Oh, yes, Jim's amazing.
And I was wondering, have you ever,
Fought Winnie the Pooh?
No. With veteran voice actors, have you ever studied or take cues from?
I can tell you this. I mean, if Jim, I don't know him. I did not get to meet him this weekend, but I'm pretty sure he influenced my career because I know him and Frank Welker and, Billy West and those guys, I'm listening to cartoons. The way I got good at it was just copying voices all the time. And so I'm learning, and then when I moved to New York and got to direct all the best talent in town, I learned from them also. I'm not a very good student in classes. I tend to learn on my own, with the exception of classical music school, which was different. But even then, when I picked up the instrument, I just go play it for hours and figure it out, I like figuring stuff out on my own. I was not an A student, except in music school. In music classes, it was not a problem. But if Jim was teaching a class, I would certainly take it. And I'm pretty sure if I went back and looked at, all the cartoons I watched, I guarantee you he's probably doing a ton of voices that I queued up on. Because he's so good at disguising his voice, I probably wouldn't even notice. But he definitely has an influence on my career for sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your question. I got to move the line along. Thank you.
Hi,
Hey.
I'm Xander. Ooh.
Hi, Xander. Whoa, a little feedback there.
I am really into musical theater. I do a lot of musical theater. I sing and act and stuff like that. So my question was, how do you keep your voice in shape, like without,
Well, here's
like,
the funny
do
thing.
you
I got to
do
comment on
anything
you.
special or-
What, without hurting my voice?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will answer that question, but so here's my relationship with musical theater is hilarious because I hate musical theater, but I would secretly love to be in it.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm a closet musical theater guy. Like when I watch musical theater, it's so maudlin and so sappy. I'm like, yuck. But then later I catch myself going, and I'm trying to sing the songs. And and if I got cast in a lot of my friends were on Broadway when I was in New York, and a lot of my friends were in Rent and various other plays, and I would go see it and get sick to my stomach, and then I would catch myself singing the songs and go, man, I want that job. So I have mixed feelings about it. As far as keeping my voice up, being a brass player taught me a lot about breathing and breath exercises, and also helps develop your diaphragmatic muscles because you're blowing on a 12.5-foot tube for 25 years. So if you're playing that taught me a lot about breathing. But that being said, if you're not an instrumentalist, you can still exercise your lungs. I look at the vocal cords as a couple of sails, and you want to make your diaphragm and air do the work, and not tension here do the work. So my point is this: a lot of times I will see voice actors in LA carrying around this Chinese herbal stuff, which I do use sometimes, but I only use it in extreme cases, and I only use it after I've damaged my voice. And they're like before sessions, and and I'm like, don't rely on the medicine, rely on proper technique. Because the medicine is only it's good for inflammation and it's good for other things. It's like this syrupy stuff we all use in LA, and it's really good stuff, actually. It really helps with the voice. And it's got 5 names, like Xing Pao To Chi Shao. I don't know, it's like 5, I can't say it.
It's made of panda.
What's it?
It's made of panda.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That
It's
explains
made of
it.
paint. I like that. So I look at it as a sail. So you want to use a lot of, when I'm doing Goku or any voice, I'm usually doing it a lot louder than it sounds because they adjust the levels in the recording studio. So I'm always throwing copious amounts of air through my vocal cords to make sure that I don't damage my voice. So then I can scream for hours, and I will wear out eventually, and I do get tired eventually, and it does hurt eventually. But recovery is a lot faster because it's only hurting due to extreme use, not due to improper technique. So if you're taking singing lessons, or you can get, if there's a wind instrument you'd like to play, or something like clarinet or flute or trumpet or whatever, that's helpful. But you can also take breathing. There's breathing devices you can buy. We used to use these ping pong ball tubes, and we, do these exercises to get our, and that's why you do these big warm-ups before you do musical theater, to get your lungs and everything going, so that you have the support, so that you don't damage your voice. So, and if you feel sharp pain in your voice, if you feel mild tension, like muscular tension, you're okay. It's important to pay attention to the type of pain. So if you feel sharp pain, intense sharp pain, that's really bad. If it's just normal, I'm using a muscle pain, like that tension you feel when you work out, that's okay. And you can only do that to a point. You have to stop, because then once those muscles get weak, other muscles will come in to compensate, and then they'll start pushing the cords in a certain way, and then you start pinching the cords together, and then you develop nodes. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Did not know that was a thing. That sounds horrifying.
Hi.
Hi.
So you said earlier that it took you a little while to realize that you were going to be like this main character of DBZ.
Yeah.
Was there ever like a aha moment or an oh crap moment whenever you realized how big it was going to be?
I've had a couple of those because it's changed over the last 17 years. So when I got on the show, when I first got on the show, one of the first aha moments was two. I walked into a Target once, and they had all the TVs going in the back, and it's on Dragon Ball Z, every channel, and my voice is blasting across Target. That was kind of a aha, shocking moment. The other shocking moment was I'm walking through the toy aisle. I was actually looking for a Dragon Ball Z toy for myself because I'm like, oh, cool, I got an action figure. Which, it's not me, but whatever. And I hear my voice around the corner going, I will not let you beat me. I'm going to win this fight. And I go around the corner, and some little, 10-year-old kid there's a blow-up doll that's like the punching bag ones where it's like it's weighted at the bottom, and it's got a motion sensor in it, so you can fight Goku. So you punch it, and it says, I will not let you beat. You punch it again, it says, I won't let you win this fight. So my mom decided that she wanted to bring that with us on a road trip to Iowa because we were having a family reunion because I was born in Iowa. And she decides to put it in the car with us, and we couldn't shut it off. So every time we hit a bump, all the way there for 800 miles, I will not let you beat me. I'm going to win this fight. I was so sick of that by the time, and it wasn't even my best take. And so that happened. Now that's the first aha moment, and that's where it gets kind of shocking. But it really blew up in the last few years because when I first got on the show, it's like, someone would find out or they would tell you would tell them or whatever. And that's not something I typically like to brag about, but they go, oh yeah, it's cool you're on that show. Now, within the last 5 years or so, it's shifted from that to you're a legend, you're my childhood, I'm not worthy, and it makes me very uncomfortable. I mean, I appreciate it. It's lovely to have as an artist to be appreciated in that way when you work so hard on it for so little, and you fought so hard to keep the part because you were replacing two previous Gokus, and you wanted to make sure that you had a legacy to leave behind so that you wouldn't be replaced yourself and that you would record everything. And that was my goal anyway. So, in the last several years, it has been like, wow, I get fan mail from South Africa, from Amsterdam, from, it blows my mind to this day. And a lot of times, I have like a lot of Goku memorabilia around my house because I buy only the weird, unique stuff. I don't have a lot of the old school stuff. And I'll be living my life and doing my thing, and I forget I play the part, and I will get recognized. I've been recognized in LA at least 3 or 4 times because I do YouTube videos and stuff. And they go, you're that guy, and they go, excuse me, are you? And I go, and I'm always taken aback, like, who are you? What? Oh yeah, I do that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yes. I got recognized at the DMV like the first day I was in LA. Hey, you're the guy that plays Goku? I think this guy sheepishly comes up to me. So yeah, it's a very surreal. You always say in voiceover that you have the anonymity and the popularity, but with YouTube and all, I don't have as much anonymity. I went to Best Buy and they recognized me, and they go, yeah, Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey come here too, also. And Troy Baker comes here, and I'm like, wow, all the voice actors go to this Best Buy, because we all live in fundamentally the same neighborhood. Because it's all by Studio City, which is where where we record everything in LA. Anyway, did you have another question? I'm going to digress. I'm on numerous medications this morning for my illness, and so I'm not feeling great. So I'm rambling a mile a minute here. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, sorry. Yes, sir.
Well, now I know you're ill, and I don't want to ask my question.
No, you can. You can ask me questions. It's all
more
right.
of a request. My whole childhood was about Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I swear to God.
Okay. So I can explain that. The Ed, Ed, and Eddie. So what people are confusing me with the guy who played Goku before me. So Rolf from Ed, Ed, and Eddie, I think, is Ian Corlett, who played Goku in the late 90s. I took over in 1999.
That was my question.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
so yeah, I'm not that guy. So.
No, that's cool. I love your work.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey.
Hi. I was wondering, what's your favorite fight?
My favorite what?
Fight that you've been in, had to do the voice for?
Probably the Goku Vegeta Majin Vegeta fight. That's probably my favorite one. Yeah.
How do you like where it's going with Beerus and everything?
I'm sorry?
I said, how do you like where it's going with the Battle of Gods and Beerus and everything?
I still can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Just lean into the mic a little bit more.
I said, how do you like where it's going with Beerus and everything?
Oh, I love it. I think Jason Douglas is amazing, and I'm thrilled that he's Beerus, and he did a spectacular job in both movies. So yeah, I love it. I love that character. I'm jealous. I wish I could play a character like that. Yeah, it's great.
Were you mad that you didn't get to win that fight like all the others?
No. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with a god and, lost the god mode transformation partway through and still kept up with him. So no, I wasn't. I thought it was great. I love that movie because I got to play Goku and King Kai in that big scene. I had to carry that whole scene, and going back and forth between those two guys, I just wanted to make sure that it sounded like two different actors, and it turned out the way I wanted it, so I was very happy. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, my question is, what's the main difference between voice acting and professional movie acting?
Well, with professional movie acting, I mean, with spiritually, to me, they're fundamentally the same. However, we have to take all the energy and expression that a physical on-camera actor would be able to use on camera and channel that into meaning into the voice without sounding overacting. So we're restricted only with the sound of our voice, and then the physical acting is done by the animated character, so we have to rely on those artists to do that, And I get to work in my underwear a lot if I want, or pajamas or whatever. If I'm auditioning at home, I'm sitting in a t-shirt and underwear recording stuff. And if I go to work, I can wear warm-ups. I don't have to look good. I can also play a lot, unless you're somebody like Daniel Day-Lewis or somebody who can really transform, who are my favorite type of actors. I get to play hundreds of different characters that I never physically would be able to play on camera. Monsters and aliens and all kinds of things. So I get to do a lot more stuff, and I have more longevity because I can get like old, and it doesn't matter as long as my voice sounds good. Whereas somebody ages out of a role, they can't play it anymore or whatever. So there's that. Anyway.
Okay, and my next question is, if you were a story writer or screenplay writer, is there any saga within DBZ that you would want to edit or just man, I wish they could have done this, I wish they could have done that?
I don't ever think in those terms. I'm pretty happy with the story. I don't, Dragon Ball Z Kai did all the editing that I wanted done, because they took out all the filler, which is fun stuff, and I like it. But, they made it into the manga. So I usually don't think about, unless there's something that's like a glaring flaw in the story that just does not work. But Akira Toriyama is such a good writer, it's hard to go back and want to edit his stuff, I mean, I don't know. I have an idea for a story where Goku gets hit on the head again and becomes evil, and Vegeta has to teach him how to be nice. Oh, wow. So that would be funny.
I would watch that for sure, yeah.
And Vegeta's walking around trying to show him the ropes.
We had Vegeta here
yes,
last year, and he was talking mad crap about Kakarot.
Oh yeah.
He was terrible.
Yeah, he does. He likes to give people a hard time. I like Vegeta. I wish I was playing a character. I'm a big Piccolo fan also, because I just like how cool he is. But I've grown to love the Vegeta character over the years, because that story arc is really my favorite saga, the whole Vegeta-Goku relationship arc. That's its own saga. Anyway, I got to move on to the next question. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you got your scouter on?
Yep. What other characters have you auditioned for in Dragon Ball Z?
Well, I auditioned for about 12 of them in the first go-round. And then after that, I really, I think they briefly auditioned me for Zarbon. And after I got Goku, though, they kept me focused on that. I don't think they wanted me playing a lot of different roles just because I had the title character. So I haven't really auditioned for much other than the characters at the beginning, which was like Jace and Berter and Yamcha and Piccolo and Vegeta. That was all in the open casting round, in 1999. So yeah, that's it.
Did you audition for every character you could?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you audition for every character you could to get it?
Well, when I go to auditions, I do like to audition for every character I can, but 9 times out of 10, it's not your choice. So I audition for everything they let me audition for, which is about 12 characters, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Even the ladies, you're like, I'll try her. Yeah, I got her. It's fine.
What's so funny is I've only done woman voices on 2 books I've done, both of which I got nominated and then I won an award for, which was Shit My Dad Says and I Suck at Girls, which are 2 audiobooks that Justin Halpern wrote. And I had to do women's voices, and I always end up sounding like, I don't know, some kind of transvestite or something. I always end up sounding like, it's terrible.
That's lovely. That's lovely. I
have
like
a
it.
horrible lady voice. Or I'll make them talk like that. So I'm like, I'll do that voice. It's like,
From Adventure Time,
like
you
that
sound
now.
like the cloud with the lumpy space princess. That's
Oh,
what that sounds like.
Oh, yeah, Lumpy Space. She was like, tell her, Lumpy Space. Oh my God. I love Lumpy Space Princess.
She's the best.
I love that show. Yes, sir.
Lumps. Anyway, okay, so I was wanting to know, what can you tell us about voicing Gogeta and Vegito? I mean, how did that work? Did they
It's pretty simple. In the magic of Pro Tools, it's very easy to, if we do Gogeta, I record first, and I do kind of a faux Britishy accent, so the accents line up. And then Chris comes in and just copies me, and then they slide it together in Pro Tools, and they have a thing called time compression expansion tool in there that you can squeeze and stretch audio to make it fit right. Or as there's also a plugin called Vocaline. Then when I do Vegito, he records first, and then I come in and match him, and then they do the same process. So it's actually really simple.
So they just kind of give you like precedence over the other voice.
Depending on who's the dominant one, Gogito or Vegito, yeah.
All right. Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. How much time we got, Shay? Oh, we're doing all right.
Yeah, we have what is it, 6 more minutes.
Okay.
6 minutes.
6 minutes or so. Then I'll be signing after this out there.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
So you just summoned Shenron. What are you wishing for?
I hate the wish question, but it's always fun. You know, it's like, what do you wish? Well, a lot of money, world peace, you know, superpowers. I don't know, you know. In The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I'm going to spoil it for you. There's a most powerful weapon in the universe is a point of view gun. So you shoot it at someone, and it automatically gets them to understand how you feel. And so that's supposed to be the weapon that could end all wars, you know. So I mean, that'd be cool if that existed. We could just, you know, give those out as weapons, and then you finally shoot them at people, and they understand how you feel and give you a hug, you know. Or something. Man, that's just something that came to mind. I always wanted a real lightsaber, or to be able to use the Force. That'd be pretty cool. You know, except without the stupid midi-chlorian bullshit, because it's stupid. And you know, and I don't believe in censorship, obviously. So yeah, that might be my wish.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hi, Shawn.
Hello.
Has there ever been? Is there a villain that you have played outside of Dragon Ball Z?
Oh yeah,
that
I played.
You really like.
Oh yeah, I love playing Shokunabo on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which they did not. You know, they put some effects on there, but it's my voice. I mean, I'm doing this whole thing down here that's like really kills me. I actually had to see a doctor after doing that one. But what other villain did I play? Well, Rio wasn't really a villain. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of. I was usually the guest bad guy almost every week on Ninja Turtles. I mean, every week they would call me the 5th Ninja Turtle. They're like, every week I'm in the booth with those guys. Because I played Master Khan, I played Shokunabo, Constable Biggles, the Fire Mystics, the Nobody, Prince of Thieves, or whatever his name was, the King of Thieves, or whatever. There's a bunch of different characters I played. I played the main bad guy in the Grings Kodai in the Pokemon Zoroark movie. I played Lucario, who's not a bad guy, and Mr. Mew. I played about 12 different Pokemon, which is the most annoying job. I mean, Lucario's a great Pokemon, but when you're playing a part and you just say the name, you know, that's all you do. I played Chandelure and Sock and Thundress, and you just say the name, you know, and you have to do it in different ways.
Line.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope that answers your question. I can't really think of many bad guys I played, but I have. Thank you. All right, how are you?
Do you remember when you did that He-Man parody?
Yeah, I probably really shouldn't. I kind of embarrassed about that. I let's not talk about that. Can we? You have a different question?
Yeah. What if Goku fused with Naruto and Luffy?
They'd be a very stretchy and whatever Naruto's powers are guy. You're the mashup guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he mashes up everything. He loves to mash things up. That's like he's Goku Superman right now. That's pretty clever.
I didn't know you had a nickname, but yeah, that fits.
And Naruto also.
Yeah.
And also, what would you have thought of voicing Goku in that death battle?
I would love to have done that, although I didn't feel like the death battle honored the rules of that universe, because they gave Goku they gave Superman an out that. Are you talking about the Goku versus Superman death battle?
Yeah.
They gave the way they explained how Goku would lose. I just didn't agree with. So I thought that was pretty funny, but it was still cool. It was very cool.
And then also, what would you think of singing Goku's lines in the epic rap battle?
Oh, I would love to have done that. I would love to have done that. If there were kids in the audience, I'd tell you about a parody I wanted to do for a Tenacious D song with Goku and King Kai, but. You can do the math in your head. You know, I like to do parodies, and I like to write, you know, stuff like that. But I would love to have done that. Sorry, I'm rambling this morning. I'm not totally here, and I think your outfit is freaking me out. I love it. He always has a really cool mashup every year when I see him. I've seen you at a couple other shows, right?
I think one other.
One other show, yeah. You were Darth Vegeta?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Also, what if Darth Vegeta fought Goku and Naruto and Luffy fused?
Oh, gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I
You haven't thought about that one as much.
I have not.
You've lost all your cred you had earlier.
I have not thought about that.
I actually do have a question. So, how many tens of thousands of dollars in damage did you do when you saw the Dragon Ball movie?
Oh, what I mean in terms of my anger?
Yeah, did you go like on a rampage?
Oh, you know, I got, you know, that cast was working with, you know, not much, and and I respect a lot of those actors quite a bit, and
this is the softest answer I've ever heard, but you clearly
I
hated that
try to be
movie.
nice about it. I mean, if you said, hey, this is a Dragon Ball movie that's loosely inspired, it's kind of a alternate timeline fantasy Dragon Ball movie, I'd be like, oh, it's not that bad. But if you said this is a Dragon Ball Z movie, I'm like, what is this shit?
Hey, that guy's Goku.
Yeah. Yeah, it was totally bullshit. And I found out why. I know some of those cast members, and basically, you know, a lot of times what happens in Hollywood, they will get a contract to do a movie, and that contract has a certain amount of time to make the movie. And then time's going by, it gets shelved, nothing happens. Like, oh shit, we're gonna lose all this money we paid for this movie if we don't make it. Quick, let's make this movie. And then the original guy that was gonna do it, I guess Stephen Chow or whatever, who would have honored it really well, he had to pull out for some other project he was on because of the timing of all of it, or something like this. This is what I read on the web. And then I actually talked to a couple of other actors about this, and they were like arguing with the current director about Piccolo's skin, and they were like, no, we just got to get this movie made. So at least we made more on Resurrection F in the box office worldwide than they did, which was my goal. Because it actually, yeah.
Proud of you.
I was like, we got to make more than that movie. And it's all thanks to you. Funimation was very grateful, and I am personally very grateful that everybody turned out to see Resurrection F in the way that they did, and came and support the show. So that was huge for Funimation.
All right, guys, let's give Shawn a final
Thank
round
you.
of applause because he
guys.
powered up to come here. Yeah. He's fixing to, you're heading back over to your booth, right? All right, so he'll be able to answer any other questions you guys have, do autographs, take photos, make memories that last a lifetime. You get to choose. This is a choose your own adventure.